I don't remember my headspace on the line at the heat race, to be quite honest. I think I was starting to kind of zero in and focus, and I told myself, like, okay, get your head out of your butt. You've worked really hard. Doesn't matter if you're sick or not. Just try as hard as you can, and you're pretty darn prepared. So even if you're sick as a dog, like, you're probably not going to do horrible. That was my thought process. That's not overly positive, but it's not bad.
It'll work.
Yeah. So don't remember what happened in the start. I relied a little too much on the get whole shot system. I wheelied. My Hunter was watching it on the plane. He was sitting in front of me on the plane, so I was watching him watch the highlights. And when my start came up for the heat race, he zoomed in on his iPad and he replayed it like 10 times, having no idea that I was behind him watching him watch this. And he just started studying my start. Would replay it, zoom in again, play it, press play again. I'm like, oh my God, this dude's just studying my start right now. We didn't talk about it at all on the plane. He told me today, he goes, hey, I was watching your start on the plane. I just want to let you know this is what you did wrong.
What?
Yeah. I was like,
so
whoa. That's pretty cool that he remembered the next day. And as he continued to watch his footage, we didn't talk about the start thing or that I saw him doing that and studying the footage. But then it gets to the main event and him winning and crossing the finish line. And I tap him on the shoulder and I go, we need to work on those. And he goes, oh, I know, man, that was horrible, huh? Because his whip was so bad. And even today we were talking about it. Actually today he was practicing his whips. Before we did our main event, before we did our 15 lapper at the end of the day today, he just is doing circles and hitting the finish line and practicing his whips. Then he'd look over at me afterward and I'd give him a thumbs up or a thumbs down on if it was good or not. Like, how funny is that? Wow. Yeah, and they were pretty good. If he does one like the ones he was doing at the track, Hunter, if you're listening to this, man, just take a deep breath, pretend you're at the dog pound, stay loose, and the whip will come to you. You just got to loosen up. That whip in the main event was rigid. It was stiff.
Yeah.
And he overshot it.
I'll tell you what, you did, I think, 3 freestyle tricks.
Did anybody film them?
We got one.
Which one?
I think we got a knack maybe.
Okay, because my Superman was one of the best Supermans I've done in a long time, and the crowd even kind of went wild for me. You could tell, like, the crowd on that side of the stadium all saw it.
Yeah, we got to keep that up. We got to keep up the freestyle tricks. I think the issue was with Houston, dude. The pits were like a country mile from the stadium. Yeah. So I like missed a sight lap each time. Also, can we just talk about the LCQ, because I just want to get to the point when you almost missed the main. So let's talk about the LCQ. LCQ was great. Also, dude, I was so mad editing all this footage because I talked the whole time, and I hate it when filmers like talk too much.
What, in our reaction? Oh, as you were filming?
Yeah.
I know. You never do that either.
I know, because I hate it when people do that. And I was editing this the last couple days, and I'm like, crap. I talked the whole time, but I was just excited.
I don't know. We might be on to something. It might be more entertaining to watch with having the film guy so invested in talking the whole time. Dude, as if he's like that 50 parent that's just talking in the background, but yet it's a super high resolution 4K, like professionally shot video. I
was like, oh my gosh, he almost died.
Oh, I thought that was hilarious.
You did almost die. From my perspective.
Oh, that endo?
The perspective of my shot, especially. Like, it just made it was the last lap. I'm like, he threw it away. Like,
oh, that happened on the last lap?
The last lap, dude.
Oh, I was getting loose in the last lap. Yeah, because I got squirrely in the whoops too in the last lap. Yeah, I jumped so deep into that pocket that the bike was gonna do what the bike was gonna do. If I was in the air for longer, I would have endoed, because I couldn't have saved that and brought that back. My suspension is too soft that, and it's great. I want it soft. I've set it up that way for a reason, but most people would probably get themselves killed on my bike that it's so soft. I landed just deep enough to where it front flipped me. So I just kind of humped the handlebars and it kind of worked. Right? Yep. Okay, well, let's go back to the start. Let's try to run through this whole LCQ if I can remember it. On the starting line, What?
Nothing. I'm going to show you a clip when you're done talking about the LCQ.
Okay.
So just keep going.
I'm excited. On the line, mindset shift, which that was the most important piece of the puzzle. Had my mind not changed for whatever reason, I don't know what the trigger was, which would be interesting to know what exactly caused such a drastic shift in mindset. But mindset shifts, mind goes blank after I tell myself I'm going to get a good start. And not just tell myself that like a fake pump up. It was like, oh, all right, I'm getting a good start. That's cool. Like when I tell you guys, oh, Moto Academy is going to do this, that's cool. And it sounds like I'm just being an idiot. Mm-hmm. But I just like believe it so much that there's no convincing me otherwise. That was the mindset that I had, which was good. Gate drops, came off the line, good. The start was just, the first turn, horrible, by the way. But that first turn was just far enough away from the start that I didn't know whether to shift third or not. So I think that hurt me a little bit because the Honda's gear box is really short. Second gear runs out very, very fast. But I couldn't shift third. So my bike would like hit the rev limiter and then I would just be like, oh, I'll just hold it in second a little longer. And I think that's when I would get kind of, everybody would kind of pile up on me and get that wheel on me right before the first turn. I would say that was probably why. So got a good jump. Don't shift to third. Get a mediocre start coming into the first turn, but it's pretty good. I'm on the inside, so this being the tightest first turn of all time, I actually come out pretty good, right?
Yeah, fifth or sixth.
Fourth? Yeah, fifth or sixth, yeah. And then right from that point, I'm like, oh, we got this. I just felt super confident, which is so crazy. Like I haven't been in that position in a long time.
Well,
right?
I've never seen it. No, like right. You got to realize, I've seen. Don't take this offensively. I mean, it in the truest way possible. I've seen you pass like 3 people ever. Okay, in a race scenario, like it, because you know we started with the SGB days, didn't make a main the whole time. Last year was a little bit better, and it was like you almost passed 6 people and won the thing. That is never, I've never seen that ever. Like I was just like, whoa. What happened? Like, and it was one of those things, I think I told you this, is on the first lap you tripled in to a rhythm. And I was like, whoa, because you never triple in on the first lap. Like,
oh my God. Yeah, all just normal things if I think back to the mindset I was in when I was racing. But yeah, that's right, you haven't seen that. Nope. Because I haven't done that in years and years and years. And yet it felt immediately very normal. So normal to the point where I felt like I didn't belong in the LCQ. You know what I mean?
Well, you didn't. I don't think.
So, but that's what I was actually thinking in my head. So that's great. Now that I reflect back on that, that's incredible. But that only comes with actual real preparation. You can't fake that feeling. Like, even though I was sick and even though I really don't think I rode that track well at all, I was still so prepared that that's what I was capable of.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Pass everybody in the whoops. 4
so then
guys,
just start passing guys, and by passing guys I mean just blowing their doors off in the whoops. Like, and the whoops weren't groomed at this point. The whoops had seen both 250 and 450 heat races, so they're getting kind of beat up. And I was just clicking a gear and entering as fast as my bike would go, as if they were completely fresh. And if anybody that has experience riding whoops, that is extremely scary to do when they get messed up. But ultimately, it's the best way to do it. If you can commit coming in, the faster you go, the smoother it's going to be always. And if you have and maintain the good technique through the whoop section, if you start to get out of shape and you need to uncommit and slow down, you can actually do that safely. That takes a ton of experience, and because you have to know like what position to stay in. But I could do that. I could come in 4th gear wide open and then halfway through the whoops decide that I'm going to drop in and start rolling if something goes wrong. I think that's why I haven't really crashed in whoops before. Last year when I hit that guy's back tire and endoed, I had never endoed in the whoops ever, or even really crashed in the whoops that I can think of. I just feel like I'm good at uncommitting when I have to. So yeah, blowing by people in the whoops, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Like, I just felt, I didn't even feel that nervous. The race did feel like forever, but I think that was more so because I was just actually genuinely tired from being sick and just getting out of breath quickly. So the race felt like it went on for a while. I remember looking up at one point coming out of the sand and just being like, oh my God, there's only one person left to pass. Like, I was so in the zone that I didn't realize where I was. I had no idea what position I was in, and I wasn't concerned about that whatsoever, which is, again, a weird mindset to have, but it's a great one to have. And at one point I just looked up, and it must have been on the last lap, and I was like, whoa, there's only one guy left. And then in my head I was like, all right, well, watch this. I'm just going to pass him in the whoops.
Yep. So close.
And I would have, but I missed the shift a little bit coming out of the turn, and I didn't enter with as much speed. And if you watch that footage back, I dropped the front tire really low on that first whoop, and it just killed my momentum. And it actually, the killing of momentum is what caused me to get sideways at the end, because I was so desperate to want to pass him that I tried to get on the throttle more and gain speed in the whoops, which is almost never possible. It is, but it's very hard to do and keep the bike straight. And then I just started skating really bad at that point.
Yeah, what a race. And your foot blew off.
Yeah, I hit the last 4 whoops probably with the foot off. Holy cow, though. What a feeling that was.
Yeah.
Was I mic'd up for that?
No.
Oh, because the audio of me and Dan riding back to
I got that. Dan was mic'd up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Oh, I was fired up. I was really fired up. That is such a good freaking feeling to not do that for that long.
Yeah.
Do you know how much pressure that it's like compounding pressure. It's like every race that goes by, it's just like one more thing is sitting on your shoulder.
It didn't make any sense. It didn't it didn't make any sense. I was like, what are we doing in the top 4? It was so weird because, like, usually, I mean, you've been in like 6th in the LCQ a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, we got to pass 2 guys to be in the top 4. But it was like, no, it's like, wait, if we pass one more dude, we win the thing. Like, it was like, oh, it was so gnarly. It was so gnarly. All right, you ready for a little clip action?
Yeah, sure.
This is friend Dan filmed on my phone just the end of the race.
Oh, no way.
Oh, that was when you didn't get him in the whoops. So now you're going through the last rhythm.
That's P2, baby! That's P2! Holy shit.
Dude, and we were so amped.
Wow.
Everyone around
and you're
us,
trying to film.
Oh yeah, but I talked through the whole freaking race on that footage. It was so annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. But it was like, props to me for running back the entire way. Which it was absolutely necessary. So I'm glad you did that. Every time you did that, I was excited. I'm like, all right, attaboy, Cam. That's cool. Dude, I need a scooter bad.
And each time, why do we keep talking about it?
We have
still
a van.
Have not.
We just need to put one in the van.
I know. We've been talking about it for years at this point.
Yeah, literally.
It feels like. And now we have our own team. This is our team. We could put anything we want in that van. Did we forget that?
Watch.
I need to partner with Dave's company, Vulcan, there, and they have a bunch of cool little bikes. But then those are big enough where they'd take up a lot of space. Yeah, we just need a scooter. Anyhow, you got back to the pits really quick every time. And each time I was surprised that you got back so quick.
It was horrible.
Because that ride would take me a while, so much so that it was like winding around all these things. And at one point I just remember looking back to Dan and tapping him on the leg and just going, put your feet on. And he goes, huh, what? And I just start going down huge flights of stairs.
Okay, so
did you get that on film by chance?
No, you guys hadn't started the GoPro yet.
Oh.
You guys, I should have brought the clip for this. but I didn't think of it.
If you guys are enjoying these podcast clips and you want to watch full episodes, you can subscribe at club.themotoacademy.com.